not related in this way. He is a two-time Super Bowl champion. I am not, for the New York Giants. He's also, of course, a star on the NFL Today on CBS, and an amazing new podcast with his son, Matt, called Sims Complete. Phil, congrats on the podcast. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Kay. Listen, I'll say this. I heard you. I forgot that at Bleacher Report, you worked with my son. So all I can say, we all have a cross to bear in life. So you understand my plight. Yeah. So, man.
Listen, I knew him when. Now he's a huge star. You must be so proud. And doing a podcast with Matt. How is it?
Oh, it's awesome because I get to say all the things I never get a chance to say. And of course, it's a father-son, and my son's getting even. He makes fun of me on everything. I was just down in the kitchen. I got shorts on and a shirt. He's trying to take a picture of me because I know he's going to put it on the podcast. And look at you where you are. And he's whatever. It's good. We have a lot of fun, and we get into topics, like I said, that I never have a chance to get into on TV or even on radio sometimes.
We're so excited about it. It's called Sims Complete. Everybody go give it a download and subscribe to it. Now, let's just make this a full family affair. We talked about Chris. We talked about Matt. Dee has a big role in all of this. A random holiday celebrity sighting she had at a New Jersey mall, which is so fitting and so already doing this. Fill me in on this.
Well, it was Monday morning after Tommy had played in New Orleans and got just run over down there. And my wife was shopping. She sees him. She goes over to him and says, "Hi, are you Tony Cutlets?" And Tony. And my daughter was there too. And my daughter was behind her going, "Tommy." And she kept saying, "Tony, Tommy, Tommy," and whatever. But he was very nice to her, everything. And then she goes, "You know, my husband played for the Giants. Did you know that?" And of course, he goes, "Yes, I know that your husband, of course, played for the Giants, and I've talked to him and this, that." So that's where it went. And then what's really funny, my wife doesn't do any of this. She goes, "How many clicks do I have now on my whatever?" Oh, now you're talking about how many people have watched your little thing there of you doing this and saying that. But we had a lot of fun with it. And
listen, we let our interview with you with Dee. Dee's a star, and luckily for her, you've spoken very highly of Tony Cutlets, which is nice. It wasn't awkward at all. Sure. It seems like that party though, Phil's coming to an end. He's being benched for Tyrod Taylor. Did Dable stab your boy Cutlets in the back here? What's going on?
No, he didn't. Listen, people say these things, and look. Tommy DeVito did well enough that I think he has secured himself in the NFL for another year or 2 years. That's what you want when you get these opportunities. So that's good for him. But for Brian Dable, Bill Parcells 1 year was 1-7 with the Jets. Vinny Testaverde got hurt. He thought he had a Super Bowl team. They ended up going 8-8. It was the best coaching job he ever did in his life. And I said, "Boy, Bill, you worked so hard, and why?" And this, and he goes, "Hey, Sims, your damn record goes on your tombstone. That's why." And I just went, wow, that's the answer. So these head coaches, they want to win games. They never throw them away because we're going to judge them on their record and other things. And that, the record is one of the big ones we judge them on. So.
You say Bill Parcells, and I immediately sit up straight, and I'm like it's like the tension goes a little. I've never met him. I just, he's obviously such a legend. You know him very well. I'm thinking about the Jair Alexander. I literally, this Matt LaFleur thing. I'm like, Matt LaFleur, you're being an idiot. Don't be so hard on Jair Alexander. Like, you guys need to win a playoff game. How would Bill Parcells have handled the Jair situation?
Well, it wouldn't have been, "Oh, that's okay, son." That's for sure. He had a lot of sayings, but he wanted players to toe the line in certain aspects. He was rough and tough and all that, but there was a side to him that gave in to players and understood. So I don't quite know how he would have handled the Jair Alexander thing. Would be from all the history he had with him before this incident. Was he a pain in the rear end in the locker room? Was he not practicing the way he should and all that? Yeah. It's going to be interesting where this all goes with Jair Alexander. Is this going to be forgive and forget, or is this another motive? Is this like, will they want to move him? You never know, Kay. I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes and his play. I watch a lot of Green Bay Packer film every week, but I really haven't studied him. I think he's a terrific player. I loved him coming out of college, and he's had some great years. But I'll just wait and see and hear from people like you what really is going on.
Listen, Justin Jefferson week, I don't know. He's their top corner. He hasn't been out there but 6 games. Last week against the Carolina Panthers, it did not look great. So we'll see if Matt LaFleur, laying down the hammer and saying that this is going to be a tone-setting thing. If it works out for them against the Vikings and what should be and what really is a playoff game for them. Now, you guys have
let me say this, Kate. I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me just say this. This is a year that Matt LaFleur can really set down the tone and the makeup of what he wants in the future. They're not a Super Bowl team. They're not going to upset people. They are who they are. But I think he's found out he definitely has an NFL franchise quarterback in Jordan Love. I like the way he's progressed, and I think next year he'll be much better. Young football team. He's really getting the hang of how to be a coach and how to work with his players. So, Green Bay, I look for them next year to be a much better team than they are right now.
I got to tell you, our YouTube chat is saying, really? Jordan Love, they found their guy? And I think there's a lot of Packers fans who think, is LaFleur the coach?
Well, so what? You just answered many questions of everything. Here we go. Well, what's wrong with the team? Well, the quarterback stinks and the coach is no good. And where do we go from there? Okay. The media, and I'm part of it. It's really come down to this, the coach and the quarterback now. And Packer fans, if you haven't seen enough good plays from Jordan Love and see how he's improved from last year, then I don't know what to tell you. You're never going to be happy. So he's throwing the ball better. He makes fairly good decisions, and it's his first year starting. And I know he's been up there and he learned under Aaron Rodgers and all that. Man, you learn on the field. That's what you do. And even his throwing, I noticed a little difference in that as the year's gone along. And
what's the difference? What's the difference you've noticed in him?
Well, he's getting freer. He throws off his back foot all the time because that's safe. Because that means he's trying to make sure the football doesn't go in the row too. But as it's gone along this year, I've seen getting through the football more, throwing it with a little more power. And he has the ability. He was built to throw. Tall, long arms, big hands, athletic. If he really starts stepping into throws and all that, he can be a top flight thrower. And I already think he's a pretty good passer. There's a difference, but he can be both and be high in both.
And he's done it with lots of injuries. Bakhtiari not out there. Christian Watson, again, they're developing chemistry. He's not able to stay on the field as much. So it's nice to hear a legend have such a vote of confidence for the guy stepping into Aaron Rodgers' shoes for, I guess, what will be the second year next year. Now, a little birdie told me, Phyllis, I really, I do my job. I'm an investigative reporter. We need to talk about Matt Short. Matt Short, who said, you are the most, and this is not my words, these are his, the most stubborn man ever when it comes to your eyewear and your glasses. Phil, what's your beef with changing out your frames?
I don't know. What do you mean, my eyewear? Listen, Kay, first, let me tell you this. I had a really bad accident a few weeks ago. And my eyewear, I don't know if you can see it. It's going away. See the scar. 50 stitches above my eye. So, and I just don't see the big deal. Big fat Boomer Esiason talks about it. Like, you ever see the glasses he wears? He had a pair of pink glasses on one time. I wanted to try to get a picture of him, but he took them off before I could get a picture. So they love to make fun of it on the radio and all that. And it doesn't bother me. Well, it does get me a little mad. I'm like,
I was going to say, you seem a little more mad than I thought you'd be.
Oh, no, but who are these guys to judge appearances? That's what I want to say. I mean, look in the mirror. I'm sorry, Boomer.
Now, are you including Nate Burleson in that group?
No, Nate doesn't get into those kind of wars with us. And, of course, Nate wears a different pair of eyeglasses every week. And, as I said, I think last week I had to introduce everybody. We can't wait for Nate to show up on the set each week to see what the hell is he wearing. So, I didn't say hell, but I can't.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. You have your podcast with Matt, and then Chris has like a rival podcast, I imagine, the Pro Football Talk podcast with Mike Florio. Mike Florio's getting a lot of criticism, for his negative take on Lamar Jackson. leading up to that Niners game.
What was so negative about it? I don't know. What was it? I didn't get to listen.
I don't know, but I've just seen the little crumbs. But it's more about, I think they should be giving you love, spending time on Pro Football Talk, talking about how you said back in before, I know it was before Halloween, back early in the season, you said Lamar is and would be the top quarterback in the league. I think you deserve a little love for that. How'd you know that?
Well, how do I know it? Because I watch him. And, listen, I was a huge fan when he came out of the University of Louisville. I've said this, Lamar Jackson, Barry Sanders, and Adrian Peterson are 3 greatest highlight tapes I've ever watched of college football players. And, all that talk about Lamar, and I spoke highly of him coming out of the draft. And listen, Kay, people were killing me. And my son, Christopher, they were questioning. Josh Allen stinks. Lamar can't play. He should this. And it's kind of made me get to this point of all this stuff before the draft. I don't even want to hear it. I'll talk about it's crazy. Everybody knows more than everybody else in it. And, when it just gets so loud sometimes, nobody ever comes back and goes, oh, I was wrong. That's what really bothers me in the whole business. Well, I was wrong. We've been killing Josh Allen, but oh my God, now it's incredible. And and I say this because I always say when I'm wrong. I mean, always. I mean, I've been wrong about quarterbacks, and I go, Jared Goff, hey, right here on national TV, I'm apologizing to you because you are sticking it to the man. I mean, you are throwing it this and that. You're right now being a tremendous quarterback, and I had doubts about you, and I was wrong. So, and I do that all the time. Really, it's kind of fun, and it makes me feel good because I want to be, sorry to be on these tangents, but what's our job, Kay? But what's our job? To tell the fans the truth. What do the fans know? What they hear and what they read. And man, that's limiting. So people like us on TV, we got to set the record straight, which I love doing, of course. And, and I do it even on the TV with guys. I go, no, that's just a quick hit thing that's not explaining why it's good or bad. And so that's what I do. I think I have a responsibility to coaches and players in the NFL to tell the truth and to set it straight. And when I'm wrong, I got to admit it because they deserve that from the people who cover the game.
I think for the people who cover the game, but more so the legends of the game, who's, what you say weighs a lot. It matters a lot. And it's obvious that you hold that in high regard and you understand how important that is. And especially the accountability. It's a nice example to set for the rest of the sports media coming up and trying to have an opinion and trying to back it up. It's very interesting. This game, Dolphins, Ravens, also very interesting, Phil, and also on CBS, which will be very exciting. Everyone's going to talk about the offenses and Lamar and Tua and the speed and all of that, and Mike McDaniel, Todd Monken, who I think deserves some credit for what he's done in his first year. But the defenses are really legit too. Like the Dolphins, #1 defense over the second half. Then of course you have Baltimore flying around what they were able to do with their speed and athleticism and physicality up against Brock Purdy and company. How do you see this game going on Sunday?
Well, there's so much to it. I've been hearing about Vic Fangio, this defense. And I got to, that's one of the things I've been kind of like, well, when am I going to see this great effect on this defense? Well, I've seen it. Okay. I've seen it. And, as coaches, I had a coach tell me, he goes, Miami, they're starting to pass everybody off. They got this thing down now. They're going to be a pain in the rear as we go forward, and you have to see them in the playoffs. So that told me something too. And for the Baltimore Ravens, all I can say is, can they come back after that game in San Francisco and emotionally and physically be who they were out there? Because if they are, they're going to win the game. And they got 2 things going, or many things. They got great depth on the football team. They got depth on defense. You don't even know who's making a play. The scheme is awesome. It changes basically every week, and they're ferocious. And some of the things they did, I'm going to show it on CBS this weekend, were so smart and showed me how much they really understood the depth of the 49ers offense. In other words, they didn't chase the cars. They waited for it to come to them a lot of times, and they knew some of the plays the 49ers were going to run. And not only they take advantage of it, they got interceptions off of it and make great plays. And teams like Baltimore get better as the year goes along, Kay, because of what? They're big. They're not a speed team. They're fast, but I mean, by NFL standards, big. And as Bill Parcells, I quote him all the time on everything. He goes, fast teams get slower. Big teams do not get smaller in the NFL. And the Baltimore Ravens, ever since Ozzie Newsome's been down there, right? They love big players, and they got them everywhere on their football team.
They do. Kyle Hamilton banged up in that one. I mean, this is a matchup we saw, I think, early last season, week 1 or 2 or 3,
yes,
where Tua roasted them for 6 touchdowns with Tyreek and Waddle and company. But this defense seems to be clicking at the right time on the Ravens side. So I think it'll be close. You mentioned Parcells. Did you happen to see Mike McDaniel playing his best, putting on his best impression of Bill Parcells, shouting at Dan Marino before the Cowboys game? Did you see this, Phil?
Yeah, I did yesterday. Hey, Marino, FBO records, we're going to break them. God. I watched Hard Knocks last night of Mike McDaniel. I mean, he is something. He is, I don't know what to say. He broke the mold, and it's great. And my son Matt was down in Atlanta when he was down there. I don't know what position he was coaching down there at the time, but he said he just like you see him now. And he goes, I don't think I ever looked at him and thought he was going to be a head coach, but he was really smart, knew what he was doing down there, helping people out. So that's great.
What about Dan Marino getting the business? Dan Marino all over Hard Knocks too, getting gifts from Tua. Mike White's handing him presents. What's going on with Dan? Uncle Dan.
Oh, man. I'll tell you. Well, what's going on? He's loving it. Loving the fact that he's part of a winning culture down there. And I'm sure he's looking around and seeing that, knowing Dan, he goes, well, hell, I could throw for 7,000 yards with these guys. And, I can still throw it. Probably still can. But I'm sure he loves the offense, the way the team is run now, and just the whole vibe that you get. And I watched the Hard Knocks series during the summer. I watched this one that's going on now. And you can see that Miami's different, but I know it's not fake either. You can see every day it's about energy and being positive. And, there is something to that players, when you hit them the right way and all that, and of course you give them a great system, they're going to buy in, and they've bought in big time down in Miami. I
mean, who's winning this game, Phil? You got me all over the place.
Oh, I am. What do you? Hey, I can't pick anything. I mean, I can't even pick winners. Some weeks I have losing records just picking a winner. And but if I had to say who's going to win it, I'm taking Baltimore, because and it really for this team has been building to this. This is the team. This is their year. I think that's a Super Bowl team there, big time. And the coaching, Mike McDonald on defense, and Todd Monken, you said his name, that's real. The passing game is elevated, and Lamar just knows how to control the game too. And I would think the crowd being at home, who they're playing, all that's at stake and all that. I like the Ravens. I won't be shocked, but I'll be surprised if the Miami Dolphins can find a way to beat the Baltimore Ravens.
Sounds like they have the magic. I love that you use the word depth. It's something that, they're always injury prone. There's always something going on both sides of the ball. Even the wide receivers, they've got a couple layers of depth, which is really, really nice to see. I can't let you go, Phil, without asking you about Russell Wilson.
Right. Oh, sure.
This whole thing happens, business decision. That's fine. Let's not even discuss that. I would like to know who you think would not surprise you to see in that Sean Payton offense next year.
Oh boy, I couldn't. It just hit me this morning too. I don't know if I can come up with somebody right now. I was thinking this morning, where's Russell Wilson going to go?
What do you think?
Well, the one team that came to mind, maybe Washington. They'll be looking for somebody maybe to start this franchise over, and they could build around him. His talent is still good. And I thought it was kind of going good with Sean Payton. That's what caught me by surprise a little bit. But he wants a different type of quarterback, and we don't know what exactly goes on. I watched them too a lot, and when they were having that winning streak, I was like, man, they're in a groove. He's throwing the ball well. They're calling the right plays at time. He's getting people open, Sean Payton, and then it came to this. So, but I can't tell you who would. Yeah, go ahead.
I think you should go get a young, less expensive. The finances obviously matter. I was thinking maybe you dangle Russell Wilson in front of David Tepper, who likes flashy, it's a big name, Russell, Super Bowl champion, and you say, Bryce Young, let me come develop you and you'll play my game.
No, they're not going to do that. There's no way. You're not going to put Russell Wilson in there. And hey, listen, Bryce Young is making some inways here. They're doing more with him. Oh my gosh, they put him in bubble wrap. Let it go.
Oh.
Let it go. And we see these rookie quarterbacks, they can do it. So don't sit there and think you got to just do, oh, we can't take a chance. I don't want him to throw an interception. Man, Kay, I heard you talk about it earlier. When you're a quarterback, you got to learn to go to the edge. We don't want to turn it over, but you got to be at the edge of the cliff. And if you take one step, you fall over. But that's where greatness is for all players, and especially for quarterbacks. Do you know where the edge is, where you know how to take chances without losing the football? And that's when you're going to be at your best, and that's going to be the best thing for your team. And it's like Parcells said, would always tell me, hey, Sims, he said this to me going out to a game once. If you don't throw at least 2 interceptions today, you're not taking enough chances. I said, well, I can take care of that interception thing. So yeah, he said it. And I just went, man, you're crazy. That's what I was thinking when I said it to him. And, but it was to ease the tension, to relax and play. And that's another thing about the business we're in. You can throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. And at the end of that comment, well, he also threw an interception. Oh, geez, how are we going to overcome? It's crazy that we act like interceptions are the end of every world in every game. I understand when you throw 3 or when it happens, it's a big deal. But this insaneness about all this that's why I like being in the business, Kay. So I can complain about
You're making me believe in Jake Browning and the Brock Purdy's and the Joe Flacco, he's slinging it, but he's turning it over a ton. But I'm having to do
Joe's
that.
Never seen a throw that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Say it again.
Nothing. You're the best. You guys, everybody listen to Sims Complete podcast on Believe and tune into, of course, the NFL Today every Sunday on CBS, where you wear whatever the heck eyewear you want to or don't want to. I'm on your side, Phil.
Well, I'm not going to wear glasses this week, but if I can see, that's the problem too. Why do you wear them? Hell, why do you think I wear them? Do I do it for decoration? No. Because I can't see.
I don't know, Phil. I was told it was something. We have to go. I thought it was something funny. It's clearly not. But I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, no, it's fine.
You,
I like
to Dee, Matt, to Chris, to the entire Sims clan, and Happy New Year.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe right here. Do it now for the latest from Up and Adams.